Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for our next Complete College America webinar in our series. I want to thank Complete College America for coordinating this with us for this semester. We've had some great topics so far. And I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Robin Marable, who is the Director of Student Pathways and Academic Formation at Norfolk State University. And she's going to be talking to us about first year seminar and also AI, which is super important and right at the forefront for us. So take it away for us.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As Jen shared, I am Robin Marable, the Director for Student Pathways and Academic Formation here at Norfolk State University. I want to begin with thanking Jen Snyder and the SUNY Center for Professional Development for inviting me, as well as Complete College America. I am excited and I am honored to be before you today. And I also thank all of you for joining me today. So I wanted to share that there are a couple of things that I will be going over, a couple of topics, three main topics, if you will. The first is first year seminar and the implementation of integrative learning in first year seminar courses. Then I will do a brief overview of career exploration in first year seminar courses. We will then look at artificial intelligence and its contribution to first year student learning experiences. And then lastly, I will pull all of those together and share how Norfolk State University's has implemented those three concepts into our first year seminar courses. So before we begin, I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm working for two screens here, but I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, and in one word, if you will put in the chat box, describe students' first year experience at your institution. Again, this is your opinion, what you've seen, what you have observed, and what students have shared with you at your institution. And I will start by putting my word, which is unexpected. So I really just want to see some of if we have some common experiences, if this is something that students experience across the United States in our higher education setting. Eye-opening, overwhelmed, absolutely. Inconsistent, unprepared. Some of these, some of your words are common, inconsistent, and consistent. And I will do maybe another 5 to 10 seconds, financial uncertainty. And that can definitely impact students' first year experience. Disconnected. And I will share that I wanted to ask this question because we know that the way they enter college impacts their first year. So if we are proactive about addressing that, then and aware first, then proactive addressing that, we'll be able to help these students with their transition through the first year. So thank you for sharing those. Stressful and overwhelming is definitely one. So again, I ask you that because we know that the first year of college is critical to student success. And it is a time that involves multi-dimensional adjustments in students, their academic, their social, and their emotional states. And again, all of that will enhance or impact how they transition through the first year. So if you look at the videos, if you look at the top one, some students come to our institutions, they're happy, they're smiling and just ready to get the journey going. And while others come to our college a bit confused, as we shared in the chat box, they come unsure about what to do next, like the young man looks in this video to the left. And then unfortunately, we have some students to come who are just really scared to death because they don't know what to expect in this first year. So first year seminar courses, and you may hear me refer to them also as freshman seminar courses. They provide a platform where students acquire the knowledge and the skills, the abilities to prepare them for the rigors of college life and life beyond college. So it's really a holistic development process that goes on in these classrooms if implemented correctly, okay? And because these students help students with their transition from high school to college, these courses also contribute to retention and success at these institutions. And that's why they're probably deemed high impact practices because of the activities and the interactions, again, that should occur in these courses. And those activities should include integrated learning strategies, which support the instruction intentionalities, okay? So what is integrative learning? Now, according to the Association of Colleges and Universities, I'll just go ahead and read what's written. Integrative learning is an understanding and a disposition that a student builds across curriculum and co-curriculum to make connections, to synthesize, and to transfer learning or information to new complex situations on campus, such as in their classroom and beyond campus, for example, in service learning activities. So that's the definition from AAC&U. In other words, I see integrative learning as a strategy where students connect new skills and information to new situations. And since learning occurs in the classroom and outside the classroom, integrative learning not only impacts students' curricular experiences, but it contributes to their entire developmental transformation while they're in college. Okay, so that's why I say intentionality is very important when designing these courses, especially if we want our students to develop holistically. So again, I see integrative learning as a puzzle where the puzzle represents, each piece of the puzzle represents new learning experiences. And when the puzzle is put together, the puzzle ultimately represents the goal as a whole, okay? And again, I'm moving through this because I do want to allow time for questions at the end of this presentation. So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I did want to quickly share the different ways to implement integrative learning in your first year courses or in any course with that matter. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but here are some of the strategies that have been provided by AAC&U. And one is to connect to experiences. So connect the new information that students are learning in their classrooms and outside of the classroom to life experiences. And this makes it meaningful and relevant for the student, okay? That enhances engagement and it also eventually impacts their progression through the first year and beyond. Okay, then we have reflection and self-assessment, where students take assessment and they become self-aware of themselves and these habits and behaviors, which creates new information for them that they can use as they continue their journeys at our institutions. I've already mentioned transfer, where they take this new information and then they use it in new situations. So it's really just a transfer of information. Integrated communication is really about students being able to articulate the new information and apply it to their new situations. But the main thing is to be able to communicate and articulate the experience. And then lastly, the last strategy is to connect to their field of studies. That's why they're here. We want them to participate in majors that support their career goals beyond college. And we want the information or the experience, again, to connect to whatever the field of study that they collect to their postgraduate goals. And also I've created, and this is on the website for AACNU, but they also have a rubrics that you can use when you're implementing these strategies in your course. Okay. So moving on, I wanted to do a did you know? And I'm going to do 2 of them today, but did you know that there are 6 types of first-year seminar courses? Okay. The first one is extended orientation, which is the most popular one, and that focuses on topics such as student transition to college, study skills, and campus resources. Then there are 2 academically based first-year seminar types. The first is the academic with uniform content sections. They focus on academic or theme-oriented matter, which can involve sections with uniform or the same curriculums for specific subjects or topics. And then we have the academic on various topics or different topics, and they can focus on faculty-specific areas of interest or their areas of expertise. And again, these topics could vary by your section, your course sections. Next, we have the basic study skill seminar, and that pretty much focuses on students who are underprepared for college. So I'm not sure if you have programs where students enter in your institutions conditionally. Here at Norfolk State Universities, those students will participate in programs to help them build their skills for the rigor, again, of college. Then we have the pre-professional or discipline-linked seminars, which prepares students for a specific academic program and career path. And I'll get to that in just a moment, because that's when we have a series of freshman seminar courses. And one is a pre-professional discipline link type of course. And then we have the hybrid, which blends 2 or more of the first year seminar categories. So my question for you, and if you will put this in the chat box, because I'm just curious what type of first year seminar classes are implemented in your system. So if your institution, because some institutions do not offer first year seminar courses, but if your institution has freshman seminar courses, what is the course type? Or do we even know? And that's part of that intentionality, because we should be very intentional about what we are offering. So I see the academic on various topics, extended academic, and I see academic all over the board. And that's kind of where we are, Brian. Hybrid, extended. And while you're still writing in the chat box, I will share that Norfolk State University, and I'll elaborate on it later, we have a hybrid freshman seminar series that consists of 3 courses. The first one is extended oriented, because it helps students with their transition to the university. But the last 2 are pre-professional and discipline link. And I'll get into that more. They're trying to introduce professional or discipline link seminars. And that's good to know, because I am really doing some research on that. And I'm finding that not many have the pre-professional or discipline link. Maybe 24% of institutions do. But I think it's very relevant, again, and I keep using that term because relevant, meaningful, intentionality to me are terms that we need to focus on as we implement any type of program or initiative for our students, okay? So thank you for sharing that. And at the end, I really would like for you to share what type, and you gave me the type, but give me a little bit of detail on your process and how your first year seminar course has been implemented at your institution. Okay, so moving on. So now let's move to the next topic, which is career exploration and development. And as I mentioned in the last slide, the pre-professional and or discipline linked first year seminar would design activities that involve all of these topics that are up here. So those topics would include learn about yourself, taking assessments, and we're going to talk about that again. I know I keep saying we're going to talk about it, so I'm kind of ahead of myself. But again, this is going to be all looped together when I discuss the freshman seminar courses at NSU. But the pre-professional and discipline link include all of these type of lessons, all the way to linking their majors to their career choices. So we're briefly looking at career exploration and development. In a moment, I'm going to connect it to AI, or artificial intelligence. So again, looking at integrating, being intentional. One way to do this is implement career exploration and development activities in your first year seminar courses. Now, we know they have their core courses, and we know that in their program courses, but we would like to think that students need to start thinking about their careers as soon as they hit the campus, not in their junior or senior year. We should start preparing them for whatever career. Now, we know they're going to change them, or they may change their major. That's a given, but at least we're guiding them in the way that they should go to select these careers and develop them in a system and guide them as they matriculate through our institutions. So and again, we know that helping them may vary because these students may change their major. But NSU has, we group our students in meta majors, which I will explain later again. And that sort of address students while if they switch their majors, so they won't lose course credits, so they can move between majors and still be on track, if you will. Another reason to implement career exploration and development activities in your first year courses is to support student career readiness and help them to become marketable. Okay. Now, the ultimate goal for college, or while they're at our institutions or enrolled in our institutions, is so they can gain the skills and eventually be employed, whether it's self-employed or working for an organization. But it's our goal, our responsibility as higher education institutions to assist students to help them reach their goals and make the journey meaningful, again, and relevant. And I keep saying that because a lot of students, students come through your institutions, and when we're trying to integrate what you're learning in your classrooms and integrate it or connect it to the workforce, we're finding that students can't articulate that. So it should be our goal to enhance or to implement strategies or implement activities where they practice that in our institutions. Okay. And then more benefits of implementing career exploration and development in first year courses allow educators to address the workplace skill gap early on, and to also provide career preparation guidance again, early on in their journey and not wait until their junior and senior year. By the time they become juniors, seniors, they should be almost ready for the workforce, not getting ready. Okay. And lastly, career exploration and development supports the interrelationship between their college experience and their workforce expectation. And again, sometimes they are not able to articulate that experience or make that connection from the classroom to the workforce expectations. I had one student in my class, and this is I'm just sharing. I teach freshman seminar here, and I oversee all of the freshman seminar courses here at Norfolk State University. And the young lady shared with me that she works at Amazon. And I'm sorry, she works for the federal government. This is another one. She works for the federal government, and she approves permits so people can build decks, so forth and so on. And her major is psychology. And she said, well, I don't know if I can even take my skills that I learned in my current position and transfer them to my future job. And I said, well, what do you do at your current job? She said, well, I look at the applications and I analyze. I say, stop. Analyzing is the skill that you're going to transfer over as a psychologist. So we have to be prepared. Well, not prepared, but we have to guide them with making those connections from the classroom, from their current experiences to their future goals. Okay, and giving them the tools they need to be successful in the transition. Okay, so let's talk AI. Okay, now I will say my background is mathematics, so I'm not an AI expert, but what I can really tell you is that AI is present in this world. AI can drive your car, AI can read your face, AI can shop for you, AI can even write your dissertation if you needed it to. Okay. So AI is here and AI is making its presence. Okay. Many times we use these resources and really don't understand how they operate or how they function. All we know is that it works for us and it makes our job easier and makes us reach the out or accomplish the outcomes that we are working towards. So I wanted to look into AI, and I found out in a nutshell that AI is really just a branch of computer science that involves machines that rely on algorithms and techniques to analyze the data. But the data is provided based on human intelligence. Okay, so when looking at AI in higher education, these AI algorithms can analyze student data, including their learning pace, as well as their strengths and their weaknesses. And this is helpful in enhancing our teaching and learning experiences. It helps with addressing students' cognitive and academic factors and personalizing their learning experiences. And we're going to discuss how this works in a couple of slides. Okay. Here are some ways that AI are used in education and especially in career exploration. Well, we'll get to career. I'm ahead of myself. So Grammarly, and that's been around for a while. I actually use Grammarly in my doctoral program. So it's been around for a while. But that uses AI. Another one is chatbot, B-O-T, and I keep calling it chatbots, but it's chatbot, which is a computer program that is designed to answer questions, and it simulates dialogues with humans, so making the learning experience interactive and responsive. So as students are using these tools, they are actually, it's really, again, simulating a dialogue and making them feel like they're having a conversation, if you will. Then there are tutoring systems that use AI, such as Khan Academy, and I actually used that in the past with my family. But Khan Academy, and that's been around for a while, that has a component, an AI component called Camigo that helps students with their learning. And then lastly, we have AI is used with personalizing your learning and adaptive systems, interactive and learning games, and tools for career development. I will give you examples of those, how Norfolk State University uses those in their first year seminar courses. Okay, so this slide shares the interaction between AI and career exploration and development. And there are several platforms that can generate your resume, generate student resume. It can streamline their job searches, and it offers resources that support student skills and professional interests. These platforms can also analyze and identify career paths. They can provide labor market trends, and that include outcomes or outlook for careers, and generate interview questions that align with their student interests. And we sort of use this. We have an academy here at Norfolk State University where it's an empowerment academy to help students to prepare professionally. And we've had them to sometimes use these AI platforms that help them to generate questions for their particular skill to study. But that's not first year seminar courses, but we have used those here at Norfolk State University. So there are a lot of different platforms, AI platforms that that help students with their career aspiration and development. Okay, so time for the last did you know? Did you know that in 2024, 81%, and that was a lot to me, of higher education presidents had not published policies governing the use of AI at their institutions. And about a third of students use AI tools in their schools, and this is in public schools and at universities and colleges, okay? And 22% of them have admitted that they use AI to cheat, and I believe it, I've seen it, okay? So this is a question for you. Have you experienced AI misuse at your institution? And all I'm asking you to do is put yes or no in the box, and hopefully we can share those experiences later. And while you're putting that in, oh, no, I see a no. That's interesting for sure. Absolutely. And what? No, but I'm not an instructor. Okay, that's fine. I will say that I've seen someone submit an essay totally from Chat GPT. Okay. So again, I would love for you to share your experience at the end of this presentation. Because if AI is present and we see that the use is going to be enhanced, then we need to be aware. And that also involves sharing across higher education institutions some of the experiences and situations that we have seen at our schools. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So more yes than no's. But we have a policy, and I like that. See, the policy is probably necessary to sort of diminish the misuse of using AI. Okay. So let's pull it all together. We talked about first year experience courses. We talked about career exploration and development. We kind of touched on artificial intelligence. Now I want to share with you how Norfolk State University first year seminar courses have implemented all of those topics in their freshman seminar. So let's spotlight NSU and what we call Spartan Seminar, or we refer to it as SIM. Okay, so you have your first year courses, and then those are sometimes referred to as your freshman seminar courses. And then each institution has its own name for the courses, and we call ours Spartan Seminar or SIM. When it was a 0 credit course, we called it Introduction to University Life. And then when it became a 3 credit course, we call it IUL. Oh, that's Introduction to University Life. I apologize. We had another name for it. It doesn't come to me right now. And now, since it's a 3-course series, we call it SIM, or Spartan Seminar Series. And it's a hybrid approach, like we spoke, because the first course is transitional, or is the extended orientation, and the last 2 courses are more pre-professional and discipline linked. And when I get to that, I'll share how that is. But it is a graduation requirement. They have to pass all 3 courses. My instructors are certified according to our SAC-COC guidelines. So I do know that some institutions have graduate students teaching. And although they're certified here at NSU, they may come from different divisions across campus. Nevertheless, they still have to be certified. And they can take the training. We have a training certification for Vita Nevis certification, and that is to help them with their career development and exploration activities. It is a general education offering, and each course is 1 credit. So again, although these are not prerequisite courses, we do like for them to take them in sequence. So again, the first semester here, they would take the college success course, is what we call it, just to help them with their transition. However, we do introduce career exploration and development in that particular course, because now we're talking about majors right at the beginning. So some students select majors, and I remember, and I attended Norfolk State University. I selected a major because I was looking at money, which we know that's not true, but that's my reality. So we want them to explore and start looking into some things that are their passions, and that are also include their strengths, okay? And even during that time, we have them to identify the strengths and weaknesses so they can make these informed decisions. Then we have SIM 102, which is our career and exploration course. And our students are grouped in meta majors the first year, and I'll share meta majors with you shortly. And then our 3rd course in that series is ethnography of work in the workplace, where that's totally online, but students are, they have to observe a workplace and complete reflection activities. And so it's an ethnography or observation research-based course. And this is the last course in that series. So to help with the grouping, to help with students with making decisions, to help with students changing their majors, and to assist with them not losing those course credits, they are grouped in meta majors for the first year. We have physical, life, and formal sciences, which includes biology and chemistry. Then we have health services, which includes pre-nursing and health services management. Then we have the arts, communication, and interdisciplinary studies. meta major, and that includes mass communication, history, English, fine arts. So, and there are more. Human services and behavior sciences include psychology and social work. Technology and engineering includes technology and engineering courses, to include computer science also. Our business meta major includes the accountancy and tourism and hospitality. And then we have education, which includes all of the education licensure courses. Okay. So those are 7 meta majors for SIM 102. We group them in 101, but we really focus on it in SIM 102. Now, just a brief explanation on what are meta majors. And meta major is a key component of the Guided Pathway Initiative that began, I believe, in about 2017, around that time. And it was a part of the Redesigning American Community Colleges initiative, to help students with creating these clear academic career paths, streamlining their courses, and helping them to create work towards intended degrees. Okay, so some of the features of it, and I mentioned this, they have some common courses. So if they change their major from, let's say, chemistry to biology, because they have common courses, those courses will transfer over to the new academic major, and students won't lose course credit. And again, it's major clustered, and it is structured and it's integrated. It's integrated to help students with their academic experiences. So I did want to go over that because that is a major process that we have implemented to help with the career exploration and development component of our freshman seminar course. And then going into some of the activities that we have for our SIM courses, we have micro-credentialing badges. We have the hard skills and the soft skills. We are partnered with IBM. They have a freshman skills bank initiative for all of our freshmen. And they can take courses for free. And Skills Build, I believe, is free for anyone who wants to take it. However, this partnership we have with IBM has sort of modified the course so freshmen can participate. So you don't have to be in technology and engineering or have cybersecurity major. It's foundational because we know, again, that these 3 topics impact our everyday life, and it can move into your career as well. So the courses they take can be artificial intelligence is one, data science is another, and cybersecurity is one. It only takes about 3 hours, but again, it's introduction and foundation to these topics. Then we have the soft skills where students can get micro-credentialing. And again, these are mandated topics in our SIM 101 and 102 courses. So critical thinking is a topic, and students are able to get a micro-credentialing in critical thinking, communication, digital technology in the workplace, and teamwork. And those lessons are embedded again in our freshman seminar classes. We do allow them to take assessments, as I mentioned earlier, so they can identify their strengths and their weaknesses. And this often helps them with identify or declaring their majors. So we do True Colors in our SIM 101. Then we do the ONET interest profile from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is really the super strong assessment. We use that in SIM 102. Then we have other topics: personal branding, personal and professional branding, holistic development is our goal. major exploration, networking strategies. They're now working on their career exploration group project. And again, ethnography or work where they complete research via observation in a work setting that's consistent with their major. And I've had students to complete their ethnography work in the past and decide that this is not the major for me just because of the work environment. And that's again, we want them to be informed so they can make these type of decisions. Okay, so let's pull it all together and look at AI and career planning and NSU courses. And as I shared earlier, there are 3 courses. SIM 102 is the career exploration, 201 is the ethnography, the research. And these activities that we have appear in those 2 classes the most. So as I mentioned, the IBM skills course is implemented in our SIM 102 course. And they begin to look at it in SIM 101. That's when they start creating their accounts, so forth and so on, and becoming familiar with the information. But it's important to understand that AI is going to continue to be present. So we want them to know how these topics or how these areas will impact their decision making for the future, their careers. Okay. So we talked about the future of AI. One lesson that we've done with the future of AI, we looked at the outlook. And for example, and I can't think of the number right now, but AI is moving to psychology, it's moving to even in the health services field. So when I think of nursing, I'm thinking about how is AI, and I don't want to say take over, but it's making its move into these careers. So we want students to be prepared. So even if they just, again, so they can make informed decisions, but we want them to know, okay, so in 2030, when I'm going to go for my job, what is what is going to be my think of the term, what is going to be what are the options of me having to get this job, or AI is going to be in its place. So they need to be aware, if nothing else. Okay. And then we use Handshake a lot in our SIM 102 class, and Handshake has an AI assistant feature called Coco. And again, that feature helps them with that. It uses a chat box. So again, they're interacting with this chat box, getting guidance on their career exploration and answering some questions about their career plans. Okay, so now personalized learning and adaptive learning. NSU uses Blackboard Ultra. I'm not sure what learning LMS you all use, but we use Blackboard Ultra, and Blackboard Ultra has an AI design assistant to help instructors with their course creations and their content development. And our SIM use AI to analyze Blackboard discussions. Our SIM 201 course is fully online, so we really use it for that. Although we have a rubric to evaluate their discussion, feedback, and performance, the AI discussion forum feature provides feedback on student posts. It looks at the sentence complexity. It actually determines the grade level of what students have written. And I've seen some high and low grade levels in that course. But again, and this helps us with the feedback that we give to students on their posts. And it also analyzed the critical thinking level. So we can, and we wouldn't tell them that, but you really didn't think about this when you wrote this. So, but that's the feedback we get in our Blackboard using AI. And we've also used it for gaming platforms. And I never really knew that Kahoot has an AI feature, and the questions that are generated are AI powered. So again, takes me back. We use all these things, don't really understand the essence of it. All we know it works for us, but it's really good to understand what's going on behind the scenes, if you will. So you are able to at least take advantage of the assistance and the power that you can get from these platforms. And because these games, students love games, they love competition, it enhances the engagement and participation in class. And then lastly, we use respondents lockdown in the past to proctor tests, and to create a secure testing environment. So again, even with respondents lockdown, it monitors their eye movement. It monitors if they go to different sites, trying to look for information. It monitors if they're looking down at their notes and trying to get information from their notes. All of that is AI powered. And I will say, and not ashamed to say, I didn't realize that's AI. Okay. So that ends this presentation. I'm open to any questions and will try my best to answer them. Jen?
Food.
Oh, it is?
Hey,
Yes.
I don't see any questions in the chat yet, but does anyone have any questions or comments about anything that Dr. Marable was discussing? It's interesting. Lots of interaction when you were asking for their input.
I would like to for someone to share, if they will, how they've seen AI misused at their institution. Can we do
That's my
that?
mother's name.
And I can't see the hands
Bio.
because there's so many.
Let's see.
To like.
I do have a question from Elizabeth or not. Do you come across students for whom
Yeah,
this
it's
course
not-
is not well suited? If so, what do you do
Joanna
about
Marie.
that?
Okay, so do you come across students for whom this course is not well suited? If so, what do you do about it? Because it is a graduation required course, yes, and I'm not sure if it's because of the work, and I'm saying the work because of the activities that are in the class. But for example, we have the non-traditional students who come through who've already worked, and they often say, well, I don't need this class, but you have to have it as a graduation requirement. So we do have online sections that it has to be approved for me for those students to take those classes. So other than that, they have to grit and bear and go through the course like any other course in their academic program. But we do make special arrangements for those who like non-traditional students. And we actually have students who failed the course. And I always tell my students, I don't know how you fail Spartan seminar, but they do. So we don't have them to sit in the classroom again. I have sections for those who repeated that. So hopefully that answered your question. You're welcome, Elizabeth.
And how
Did
many?
anyone else have any questions?
From the very beginning, they were concerned.
So
Okay.
And
So,
it should have been
Well,
more.
thank you again, Dr.
Announced.
Marable. We really appreciate you taking the time to share with us, and we appreciate all of you who are attending. And we will be sending out the recording and also the slide deck to you all, so you can take a look at
Right.
that again.
I said.
Great. Have a great
Thank
week,
you for
everyone.
having
Take
me.
care.
Recommendation.
bye-bye.